That's right. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm back. I know I've been gone for about a week. I'm gonna tell y'all about it when we start the broadcast. But I had to go through a lot to get back. But y'all see the question at the top. Bill Haney can't go. Is it on purpose or is it not? Before we get into that, that's turn two. Welcome back. Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host TDT, and yes, I'm back. I had ran into a little snag last week, and I've been working hard trying to get it up. I think I did a live on Saturday, trying to kind of explain what happened, but just a real quick story. So CBS, I guess, had a problem with me showing a free fight. Now, to me, the lesson I learned is free don't mean free. Anyway, you would think I should have known it, but I guess I didn't. Um, they were advertising, hey, if you subscribe to Showtime, we even gonna give you the fights and everything. So here I am on the show advocating for Showtime. I've done that before that fight. Because I told you I'm probably one of the last Mohicans to still subscribe and pay subscription fees to a lot of different networks. I mean, you name it, I got it. And so I was just showing a free fight, so I thought. And the folks that were watching with me, they was watching the fight too on their own TV. So I don't know. I don't really know what was going on with that. So I want to write in a letter to them. Only thing I can tell you is that whatever entity want to get at you, they're gonna get at you, right? And if you think of it like this, YouTube and Google, because that's who's running, that got something to do with your YouTube channel. They don't have discretionary money set aside to plead your case. I mean, not even to speak up for you. They do have discretionary money, in my opinion, to do research on whether or not you break their guidelines, but they're not going to have discretionary money set aside to plead your case and say, wait a minute, this particular network, are you wrong about this? Because we did the research ourselves and we didn't find them liable or whatever. They're not going to do that. So basically, an entity can complain about you, but they don't just complain about you. They can send suggestions with their complaints. So they can say, oh, that person is violating me. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to not only take down that video, but I want you to put them in timeout or YouTube jail for however long or whatever. They could do stuff like that. I've rectified my situation, I think. But when they do that, also another thing, they will knock you out of all your accounts. When I tell you I had to go back and restart from scratch to bring this particular channel back up, because I was like, I'm not walking away from my channel. So I apologize for being gone all week. Thank you for the shout outs and concerns for those who was checking in or whatever. I'm good. I'm good. I'm still continue to be me, still do me. You know, even if it came to it, I figure I would have just had to start from scratch again. You know, that's what I would have had to do. So it's all to the good. I've rectified the situation. It makes me a little leery. I can tell you I've learned a lot this year. I take it as learning lessons. All of it is learning lessons. Um, I learned even like how you could play music. Because I was a music playing somebody when I first started. And I played all of my favorite type music and everything. And I'm thinking it's all good because, especially since I purchased it, you know, that's a good question. Like, how you could purchase a music, a song or something, like a soundtrack or CD or just one song or two. And then somebody can tell you how you can play it, display it, whatever. Once you purchase something, I thought you were free to reign to do whatever you want with it, short of hurting somebody else. But I guess we all got rights until you infringe upon somebody else's rights, and they consider it infringing upon their rights. You would think that if you play somebody's song, that they would be happy because that's going to bring more attention, free advertisement, all that to that person. But no, that's not how it works in this world today. So you got to be careful how you do it. I would tell you what I found out on how you can do it, how you can play people's songs without receiving an infringement. Because the one thing you'll do, you'll see these channels out here, like this one guy, particularly his channel. Um, I think he's from Canada. He plays a whole song, and him and his dad sit there and they'll listen to a whole song, and then they'll critique it, right? I'm like, how is that even possible? You played somebody's song. How, just because you critique it at the end, what's the difference? Is that all we got to say? Is at the end of whatever song we play, be like, yo, let me tell you about this song, you know, give some kind of criticism, constructive criticism, or something. But no, not in YouTube. It won't let you, but it let them. And so you just be like, I don't understand how, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? But apparently there's a difference. But there is one way. And I won't say it because it's one of them things that if you let the cat out the bag, then they'll make provisions. Let me repeat that. If you let the cat out the bag, they'll make provisions. I don't mind sharing that what I learned, but for the sake of other people's channels, I'm not gonna do it because some of you guys are right on the money with doing it how you doing it. And then if I be like broadcasting, everybody be like, oh yeah, that's good information, good to go. And the next thing you know, effective immediately, the rules have changed. That's how they do it. You know, a good example of that is I remember a time when I got grown, and y'all gonna be like lying to you, lying. I remember there was no big deal about a FICO score. Y'all remember those days? Remember? You could have a FICO score and you know, like you got them now. I mean, I know you know about them now, but back in the day when you didn't have a FICO score, or you didn't worry about a FICO score, wasn't a big deal. And I know that somebody gonna be out there saying it was always a FICO score. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Credit situations have evolved over the years, but there was a time where you didn't have a FICO score. It wasn't these three scores. I remember when it came online, I was like, when did they start doing that? But now they do it because people remember when people figured out how to pay stuff to avoid interest. They figured out a way to change the rules so you can't do that, like compound interest per day versus for the month. You know, yeah, every time people figure them out, anything out, where you, the consumer, or the little guy, gets an advantage or an edge, they change the rules. That's all I'm saying. So if I say what I learned, all they're gonna do is change the rules, and it's gonna mess a lot of folks up, in my opinion. And I don't want to do that. So if you hitting it on the money, you hitting it on the money. I ain't gonna even mess that up for nobody. So it does make me a little leery, and fair use ain't as bland as they say it is. So and it's just a whole lot of stuff I learned. Even though YouTube will always do research and see if you broke their guidelines, and that's why I can tell you comfortably with a straight face, in my YouTube studio, I don't have no copyright infringement, none. But that other folks try to say it, I got plenty. And like I said, when they complain, they come with suggestions. And YouTube and them, being that they don't got no legal aid team sitting there waiting to help you, they just gonna be like, okay, and do whatever. They're gonna take that person's word as gospel. That's just how it's gonna be. And do I blame Google and all them for not having a legal team? No, I don't really blame them. I don't blame them because it makes good business sense. I mean, you know how much money they would be spending in legal fees and legal, not fees, but like a legal team just to address every little YouTube content creators issues or whatever. They'll be there all day, every day, spending so much money. They're not gonna do that. Now, unless that can become a tax write-off. See, I'm thinking way ahead of the game. I'm just thinking a little too deep about it. But yeah, I ran into a snag with CBS of all people. I was like, I didn't even know CBS owned Showtime, but apparently they do. So, anywho, it's crazy. And then I actually put the label down. I don't own rights to this program. I was telling people at the time, go subscribe. It's free for 30 days. All that good stuff. You think they gave a care? No. So that's what it was, y'all. But I'm back, and I had to struggle to get it all back and everything. You might see some changes, like my intro. Like I was busy trying to build that. I got some more stuff coming, but slowly but surely. Anyway, so today, I know I've been gone a week, and I know a lot of people touched on things. We're gonna review the fights too, but I wanted to touch on something because I had a moment, aha moment. We all know that Bill Haney, the father of Devin Haney, the WBC lightweight champion of the world, was grooming his son for years to be the great boxer that he is and the man he is today. And we know that Devin had sacrificed big time just to be great. I don't call it a boss move, but I call it a big sacrifice. And when you believe in yourself like that, that's exactly what it is. He's like, hey, it's no biggie because I know that I'm gonna be victorious on the other end. But he's going to try to face George Kambosos. And we ain't know shit about George Kambosos till he fought Teofimo Lopez. And he caught lightning in a bottle because I'm still one of them people who believe that Teo was in his best shape, in his best form that night, that he would have won. I just believe it. Nothing against nobody else who don't believe that. I just believe it. I really believe that George Kambosos caught lightning in a bottle. Once he won, I looked at the whole lightweight division and I felt like you can't beat nobody. Maybe you can beat Brian Garcia. I even was like, that might even be a 50-50. Not, shitting on George when I say that, but I don't think he can beat nobody. I don't think he can beat Tank, Lomo, all those top guys. And if T.O. wanted running back, I don't think George would have won. So George got very fortunate. I'm not saying that as an excuse why George won. I'm just saying I don't think George would have won had T.O. been on his game that night. I just personally believe that. But he won. And when you win all the belts, it come with accolades. You come with leverage. You get a little an edge up over your next future adventures. So we all understand that. So I don't feel a certain way about George taking the belts back to Australia. Who wouldn't want to do that? If it was any of us and we won the belt somewhere overseas or whatever, that's exactly what we gonna do. Bring it back to America. I used to feel like, and they call it country pride or national nationalism or whatever you want to call it. But I was one of the people that really believed too that you if a fighter goes overseas, you got to worry about that home cooking that they get overseas. I still kind of got that in my crawl just a little bit, but not as much as I used to because I had to stop and think. We are overseas to somebody too. And fighters come over here all the time, daring to be great. And they could feel this America, man, it's gonna be home cooking. But because I see a lot of times that it don't necessarily work like that, like there's a lot of fighters that come over here and be great over here, and they get fair chances. Like half the top fighters in America in boxing today are not Americans. So there's no reason for me to feel like, oh, America's gonna give you the home cooking. But again, you got to take it from both perspectives. If I can feel that way, they can feel that way. So I said, okay, that's even. That's kind of fair. You got to be fair about that. So George Cambosa going to Australia with his belts, taking his ball home. I'm not mad at that. But George Cambosa wasn't the honest broker like he appeared to be leading up to the fight with T.O. and after the fight. Now, I was giving him a lot of credit because he was saying the right things and this, that, and the other. And Bill and Devin was smart to try to get in an interview with him or two, and just so he can speak his piece so they can make it seem like it's all gravy over there with them. But George Cambosa turned out to be a squirmer, a little bit of a liar. He played games or whatever, and he didn't. He seemed like he was on a path of avoiding Devin Haney, like most of the other fighters do too. And a lot of folks out there put Devin on a pedestal more than I would. They pedalize him a little bit. I'm not taking nothing from Devin. I like Devin. I want him to win, but there's such thing as pedalizing some boxers, and I just try not to do that. I'm human. I ain't perfect. So I can make mistakes, but I try real hard not to do that. A lot of things about Devin, I think they put the cart before the horse. One thing we can say, we have not seen him fight an adverse fight. Like I don't feel like he's faced adversity, and that ain't all the way his fault. Got a lot to do with people avoiding him as well. It's not like he's running from it. It's not like he don't want it. It has more to do with people running away from him than it got to do with him trying to avoid anything, because he's not a duck by no means. So, in light of all this stuff, now we get to the problem at hand. So, once you know and understand why the fight's going to Australia, let's go forward. So, Bill Haney knows himself. He knows everything he's done in his life. He knows his intricate details. And Bill Haney comes off like an honest broker to me, at least, and hopefully to most of you. Bill was trying to prepare. He seemed like a person who's very organized and prepared as well. So, if you go to another person's country, you have to get a passport. That should be understood by everybody. And you have to follow under the guidelines and rules of that country to be able to come into their country. You being American don't mean shit when you go into anybody's country. I don't care if the country about the size of a city. You still have to follow their guidelines. And being American does not give you any leverage or edge on that shit. You got to qualify. So we know that Australia has certain rules and guidelines. Their rules and guidelines was not made for Bill Haney. Let me repeat. Their rules and guidelines was not made for Bill Haney. They when they made their rules, they didn't have him in mind. So you can't say, because I hear a lot of the narratives being said like, oh, it's a black thing. We got to stop that. We have to stop that. because it's not a black thing for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. It's really not a black thing. I know we got black issues going on in the country. I don't look at the news that much anymore, but I do pick up some things here and there. So hopefully I ain't stepping on nobody's feelings because people like, are you crazy? You know what's going on in this country? Yeah, I hear a little bit of stuff and stuff here and there. And yes, we do have real black issues. But I want to caution us as black people, especially, that we have to be careful when we're talking about black issues because one, it don't always come back as good. I'll explain that more. We know that Devin Haney has his fight with George Kambosos coming up soon. We know that. That's in June. I think the first week in June, June 5th or June 7th, one of those days. So it would be prudent for Team Haney to go there weeks before to acclimate to their climate. That is the purpose of going to Australia now. People who ain't never been nowhere probably can't understand what it means to have to acclimate to another climate, region, elevation, whatever. You really have to do it because you're talking about a combat sport and all of that shit can have adverse reactions to you. So you need time to acclimate, meaning get used to where you are. Because your body is used to where you are now. To go somewhere else, you're going to face some pushback with your body if you're not used to that area or climate. So, of course, it was prudent for them to leave a couple of weeks ahead of time. But when it was time to go, Bill Haney was not approved at that time to go. And Bill has been transparent. He has said he is not approved to go, but, and the but part is important, he was not disapproved either. So he's not approved to go, but he was not disapproved either, right? So the convening authorities are still reviewing his situation. That's what you have to assume. And hopefully it will work out by the time his second fight with George, or his first fight. Because one thing we cannot see, you cannot put a time limit, you cannot rush them. We don't know when it's going to be worked out. We just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on right now. Hey, I can't see you, Miss D. Somebody wrote, hey, I can't see you, Miss D. Okay. Oh, that's what it looked like. Okay. This thing saying that I'm live. I don't know if I am. This is just a test. This Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm trying to make sure my channel is right for next week. I didn't mean to be out for a week, but I had some YouTube issues and all that stuff, and I've been trying to fix it all week. So I'm sorry if you guys don't know what's going on. You guys could some fugaziness going on. I can't really get don't really know. Much. But right now, I'm just making videos to test to see if I can. I had to go back into open my accounts, fix everything, reset everything up. It was just crazy over something I just don't agree with, and I think it's crazy. I see one person that came through. I don't know who that is. If you could go ahead and come through, hit the like button and make a statement in the chats just so I can know. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me now. I really don't know what that was. Okay, so hold on, I'm gonna go to YouTube. Something probably still wrong with my channel. I'm trying. I hope you guys can hear me. Lady let me know, the queen let me know that I couldn't she couldn't see my page or don't see me. So hold tight. Oh yeah, I don't know what the hell going on. Cause I'm live. Mm, That's I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what's going on. I know from my end it looks like everything's working. Uh if y'all could get it, I don't even see the live icon on the YouTube. I made a thumbnail earlier this morning and from where I'm sitting, it seemed like it works. It's working on my Facebook. It seemed like it's working on my it says I'm live. So I don't know. Maybe that's the problem. I don't damn. Oh, I don't want to waste this. Hold on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out and come back in because I really don't know what's going on. Um, hold on. Check one more place. Yeah, I apologize, y'all, because I really couldn't tell you what's going on. Everything seemed like it's going live, and everything seemed like it's going good. And maybe it is, maybe it's not. Ugh. Okay, all right. My picture changed and everything. God damn. It's showing the old one. Okay. I I don't know. Let me go out, come back in, and see what's good, because I don't really know. Maybe that's why I can't see y'all. I see one. I know there's other people watching something. If y'all can hear me, say something in the chat. Otherwise, I'm gonna back out and come back in, and hopefully it'll be seen. I know it switched up my picture. I didn't do that. I don't know how I did that, but I told y'all I had to come back and whatever. Y'all let me know in the chat. So that tells me I got a lot more work to do with this channel. Damn, I was about to get into it. I got something I do want to share though about the Bill Haney thing. So hold on, let me go out. I'm gonna go out and come back in, but it's gonna take me like maybe 5 10 minutes to make this thumbnail. Okay, all right.